Hello guys, and I am back making videos again. It's been like 3 months, but yeah, didn't really have much of a desire to make videos after the end of the race season really. So now I'm in Calpe. I've decided to take a month, the whole of January pretty much, and yeah, we're on a training camp in Calpe, which so far so good. Just chilling in the sun really, just riding around, being warm, being happy. Like, oh, the sun makes me so happy. It's actually mad. It's a madness. But then I found out there was a race series all around Calpe, so I did a bit of research, found out it's called the Volta La Marina. Oh.
Work my magic.
I tried to do the one on the 19th of January, which was my birthday, and I couldn't find the start time, thought it was 11, got there, it turned out it was 10. Sad times. Wasn't a happy man. But then I was like, I gotta go to the next one, so I went to the next one, and that's what happened.
It's me, your boy.
So, first race of the season in Spain. I sort of entered it on a bit of a whim, really. I had no intention of entering it when I flew out here. But yeah, you know, I thought I'd enter it. It was at the end of a 25-hour week. I was pretty fatigued, but I thought, you know, it's going to be good training. And you know what? I just love racing my bike, so I couldn't resist. So yeah, first race of the season, and we got to love an Insta attack because, you know what I mean? It's just good. So I saw him go, saw a couple guys go with him, and I'm like, I gotta get on that. Let's go, boys. So Kieran, who's also from the UK in the blue kit, was there as well, and I thought I'd just, you know, get aero. And when you're doing 500-600 watts on your aero, you go really fast. So aero hacks for days. So I sort of came by these guys, just trying to, you know, get as aero as possible. Which this position, by the way, is not allowed in the UK. Forearms on the tops, it's apparently it's been banned, so that's no good. So I use it while I can while I'm in Spain, eh? And you know, these things, they never work. They almost never work. I don't think I've done like only a handful of Insta attacks that actually work. It's mainly for fun. To be honest, it's just a good hit out, and yeah, a bit of fun, exciting, you know. First race, I just couldn't resist at all. So when the guys got on my wheel, I sort of flipped the elbow a bit early, but they weren't that keen to come through. Fun fact, that guy behind me, shout out to him, Joseph. He's the guy who was at the bike shop near where we were staying, and he helped us out loads with loads of stuff. So yeah, big shout out to him, absolute legend. So I just kept plugging around the front, flick of the elbow, not happening. I'm like, okay then, I'll just settle down to a slightly more sustainable pace then. because obviously I ain't about to blow myself up in kilometer 3 because it's just not worth it. So yeah, you know, try and get a bit more aero, more sustainable pace, like zone 3. Flicked it again this time, came through, but as is almost always the case with the Insta brake, it just wasn't meant to be. There's just so many fresh legs in the bunch. So yeah, we ended up getting brought back later on after a few minutes, and that was the end of that bit. So coming on to the back side of the circuit, this is a slight downhill, really fast. I think if I remember right, there was a slight tailwind as well. I can't remember, it wasn't that strong, but there was an ever so slight tailwind. So they had it slightly lined out for a bit, and I think they had a gap at one point, but it ended up getting closed up. So the guy in the front realised he didn't have a gap anymore, weaved across the road. I'm like, oh, hello. Well, everyone's slowed down. So I just, you know, keep pressure on the pedals, try and, you know, be as still as possible, whack up to, you know, surge at 500 watts and get super aero. And I'll be lying if I said I wasn't getting any drive from this motorbike, because I absolutely was. I absolutely was getting drive from this motorbike. But you know, that's just how it is. It's what happens in racing, I guess. Didn't really affect the end outcome of the race. So I was just out here on my own, trying to think, okay, there's like over an hour left of this race. I really shouldn't blow my doors early, so yeah, just again trying to settle into like mid zone 3 in the aero position. And yeah, I ended up opening a gap up pretty quickly, just sort of tapping away mid 300s. And that was pretty nice. It's so cool to have the camera motorbike. Like, this is just like, I'm sure a lot of people will agree, this is just like everyone's dream to be in a race, and the camera motorbike's just film. It's just pretty cool, not gonna lie. So yeah, I was just churning away, trying to get as aero as possible, which makes a huge difference. But obviously, I should emphasise it's not allowed in the UK. Or I think in most races it's not allowed in the UK. So yeah, I kept looking behind. I was kind of hoping for people to come with me, because obviously I'm not a time trialist. I'm not going to get away with an hour left of racing on my own. It's just not going to happen. So I was kind of hoping for someone to come across. Didn't really happen. Nice little bit of slow-mo footage. And not long later, about half a lap later, ended up getting caught. Although I did take the com points, which was quite cool, I guess. Not that it mattered, because this is split over multiple weeks racing, so I was nowhere in the overall series for the com, but that was alright. This guy, he came across and attacked. I thought, I might as well jump on the wheel, even though I was just about to get brought back, but why not? I'll flick onto the wheel there. That was basically the end of that. So if we look to the elevation, we're just going to skip across to near the end. We're on the last part of the last lap, coming downhill. I'd managed to find my way to the front of the bunch on this guy's wheel. I'd figured out, I'd looked at the jerseys and figured out who was chasing and who was letting moves go and stuff, so I figured out he was one of the helping riders. I was like, right, I'll get on his wheel. It ended up being a full sort of lead out into the bottom of the climb. Now, I was told before this race that it was a sprinter's race. I was pretty happy, and then I saw the parkour. It's definitely not a sprinter's race, but the teams were doing a full lead out to the bottom of the hill. Had to do a bit of surfing in the wheels to get where I needed to go.
Hey, check it out!
Hey, I didn't know you could surf!
So this is again getting a bit closer to the finish. Pretty hectic, with the central sort of reservation has loads and loads of cat eyes, so crossing that each time the bunch goes across the road is a little bit interesting. But yeah, so it's super hectic. You know, as lead outs are, it was pretty cool to have full road closures, so you know, people going either side of the roundabouts. It's pretty exciting. So this is coming up towards, we're pretty much, the elevation makes it look like we're on the climb, but not really, there's a little rise here. So I just made sure I stayed near the edge and making sure I'm not going to get swamped. and when people start moving up around me, just sort of nudge out and move up with them. You know, you have to expend a bit of energy, but otherwise you'll end up getting swamped. So yeah, kept moving towards the front. Here was a nice little bit on a slight downhill. I sort of put a bit of power down, moved to the front of the bunch, and now we're not actually on the climb, but we are climbing. So it pretty much is on the climb. And again, on the same lead out guy's wheel, he's back on the front again, and just sort of tapping out a fairly decent pace up this hill, this little pre-hill I'm going to call it, because we haven't actually turned onto it yet. But yeah, anyway, I'm sitting third wheel. You know, at this point in the race, like, the watts don't hurt, because you've got so much adrenaline, you're just not feeling anything. So it's like, oh yeah, it's not too bad. And then once you get onto the actual hill and you've been doing the effort for a while, it gets a bit worse. So as you can see, it flattens out a bit here. Heart rate's already fairly high, actually. Watts go down for a bit. And then right here we turn left onto the hill, which is called, I can't remember what it's called, but yeah. So this is the main hill from out of Javier towards Denia. So yeah, we start climbing. Again, it's still pretty steady. Again, there's Kieran from Cycling Sheffield with this other lead-out guy who I think is the European Masters champion or something like that, judging from his jersey. And then this guy makes a massive attack. It was so fast. I remember thinking, bloody hell. And I said, because I'd seen he came second in the first race of this series, so I knew he was pretty strong, because I'd seen the other videos, so I knew he was pretty strong. I said, you need to get on that. And through this little tight turn, I kicked to try and get across. I think I just hit 1,000 watts there, and then just, yeah, surged across to get onto his wheel. And it was a bit of a whimsical thing. I was kind of hoping there would be a bunch that would go together at the top, and then there'd be a sprint. But I saw that, and like in the moment I was like, right, that's something from a tactical point of view. I need to get on that, because otherwise the wind's just going to disappear. So yeah, quickly surged across to his wheel, and yeah, so it's just two of us out front for a bit. At this point I'm like, oof, that was a bit hard. Like, to do an effort like that at the bottom of the 5-minute climb, I'm like, that's not ideal, really not ideal. But obviously, you know, that's just how the race ended up going. So he's so strong on the hills, and I'm thinking, oof. If you look at him just compared to me, you can tell he's a lot lighter. A decent amount lighter than me. So then I pull through for my turn, and my watts actually go down because I'm like, I can't sustain that all the way to the top. So, and then also my view is, if we get caught by a couple riders, I'm still confident in a sprint. So I'm sort of happy-ish to slow the pace down a little bit. Especially because it's on a hill, so even if people caught us, it's not like they haven't been doing work. Everyone's having to do work to go fast up the hill. But yeah, then he attacks me with a little attack. Had to go up to 600 watts, but you know, it's a sort of thing that I don't mind doing the little sprints. It suits me a bit more. But then yeah, on his wheel. At this point I'm like, oof, I can feel everything from this entire week. Total week ended up being 25 hours plus an hour and a half of gym. So yeah, and this is like the third week in the training camp, so I was pretty tired already at this point. So he puts in another dig here, just a little surge to try and get me off the wheel. I just sort of, I think I made a bit of a grunt at that point. Just because at this point I would say it's one of the most painful efforts I've ever done. I was like, you know, when your brain just gives you the option to either just completely pull the pin or keep going, and it's like, it's one of those hard ones. And yeah, this is probably definitely the hardest sustained effort I've ever done, I think. At least from a perceived exertion point of view. You know, I've gone pretty deep in crits, where it's like constantly on and off, but from a sustained effort point of view, this hurt a lot. It hurt a lot. And then yeah, another little surge here. I think he's just trying to gap me. But yeah, I managed to just about stick on the wheel. Heart rate up to 193, which at the moment for me is very high, especially when I've got that much fatigue. I think he puts another kick in there. Out the saddle, absolutely swinging at this point. So the camera bike pulls away, because I guess for safety or whatever, that has to zoom off. And yeah, final corner, I think it's about 400-500 meters to go from here.
Go on, Red! Go on, mate! Do great! Go on, Red!
So luckily it flattened off, just gave me that tiny bit of recovery before it was a slight rise again. And yeah, I was trying to see where the line was because I didn't know how long it was. And as soon as I saw it here, I could see it over the crest of the hill. I kicked at an absolute eye-watering 870 watts. No, I'm joking, that's like, it's really low for me in a sprint, but given the effort, it was not bad and enough to take the win. And it was my absolutely terrible celebration because my body was so knackered I couldn't get my hands in the air. So bad, and I need to work on that. Or I should have just gone with the one-arm celebration, but yeah, that was not a good celebration. Anyway, there's the podium. Cool guys, that guy was a Puerto Rican national champion in a second. That was a really fun race, and I really enjoyed it. Nice to get a first race of the season and a solid 30 points in British cycling. So yeah. Anyway, that's going to be the end of the video. I hope you enjoyed it, and I hope it was worth the 3-month wait, and thanks for watching.